What's going on, everybody? My name is Matt and welcome back to Crypto Kings. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a huge potential Shiba Inu announcement that I think you guys are going to want to hear. So if you guys are new, make sure to drop a like, subscribe for daily SHIB vids. Let's get right into it. So if you guys haven't seen what's been going down here, we're going to be talking about what is, perhaps the biggest announcement that I think everybody in the world has been waiting to see for Shiba Inu. So this is going to be a tweet here from Watcher Guru that gives you unparalleled coverage of crypto, yada yada, and they said that they're reporting that SHIB will be listed on Robinhood tomorrow, and this tweet was from yesterday, meaning that this would be today. We are unable to confirm if this is accurate information. Robinhood has not made any official announcements about listing SHIB, but this is essentially the rumor here from CoinMomo, and this is pretty amazing stuff because if they are actually, accurate in this sense, this would mean that SHIB would be listed on Robinhood today. Now, of course, the problem is obviously, nobody really knows whether or not CoinMomo is 100% accurate on this, but regardless, it does appear that they have made it to Watcher Guru, which looks to be a pretty big Twitter. Of course, they're verified and whatnot, so it definitely does appear that there is a little bit of, sort of reputability going on here. Of course, there is no way to 100% guarantee, but regardless, this is a pretty big deal because if they actually did acquire this Robinhood listing today, what we could potentially see is obviously a huge surge in price, a huge surge in, accessibility for people actually being able to get a hold of Shiba Inu. So that would be pretty amazing stuff if it actually makes it onto Robinhood for more people to be able to buy it and more people to be able to sell it. But if you guys did want to buy SHIB somewhere else, you guys always can go to Webull. Link down below in the description, guys. It is so easy to do. Literally, it takes you 5 minutes to make an account, and if you guys go over there, you get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300. Again, only with my link down below in the description, guys. It's super easy to do, and I've seen some people get very lucky with this. Obviously getting a free share of Apple. Me and someone else here got a free share of Apple, a free fractional share of Facebook. So some awesome stuff on Webull. Use my link down below in the description. Of course, it does support me in the channel. So if you guys like me and you guys like what I'm doing over here, I always do appreciate it. So with that said, guys, obviously Robinhood would affect this price dramatically, but regardless, we're sitting here right now with around a 10% decrease here on the day. This is really nothing tragic, especially considering that 24 hours ago, we were at, probably the absolute all-time peak for the day. So, the majority of the day we spent, a little bit lower than we were, directly 24 hours ago. So in reality, is SHIB down on the day? It's negligible, maybe 2 to 3%, I would guess. But, what this is showing is that it's down from its all-time peak yesterday pretty much because, 24 hours ago yesterday, yeah, it kind of was at its all-time peak. So again, I definitely wouldn't let this worry you because when it comes down to it, what we are looking at is a direct reflection of the all-time high, basically, yesterday. And, that's definitely not something you're going to be able to sustain. The rest of the market is having a green day, so it would only make sense, of course, for SHIB to, at some point, be able to get in the green as well, of course. It might take a little bit, but I definitely do anticipate later in the day, we may be seeing SHIB enter the green. In regards to our, of course, price estimates, obviously, I know you guys like to hear me kind of get into this, and what I generally like to look for is, like I said, I like to look for areas in which price points are bouncing off of. So right away, from what we could tell based off of looking at this, it appears that there is one clear line in which it is bouncing off of, and that clear line here is basically what TradingView is already doing for us, but at around 3845. And this is something that doesn't have to be set in stone per se. You'd be a little flexible with this line, but generally somewhere around here, you could be a little bit more generous with it and say somewhere around here, maybe at like 374. Something around here is essentially where we have seen this, in multiple instances bounce off of, because again, you guys see a little bounce here, bounce up. Obviously, it falls through because that Elon Musk tweet, so that's a little hard, to sort of, take into account here. But then obviously we have another run here, bounces off of it, and it looks as if it's bounced off of it again. So, realistically, we can continue to see with this line, some kind of action, obviously heading up, and then of course, if you were to head down again, we could watch it bounce off that line once again. So really, guys, the goal is to, sort of create, imaginary lines in your head where you're noticing these prices, bouncing off of. Another good thing you can do, of course, is to check the relative strength index. I always love to do this for you guys on the channel, but basically what we can look at and notice here is that, yeah, we have a lot of headroom. In theory, we could head right now all the way up to 70 if we wanted to, which would, of course, take the price of SHIB, maybe up to like 41-ish. And I definitely do think that would definitely be a safe potential move, for SHIB to do right now, heading up to around 41, because then, the relative strength index would consider this to be an acceptable level of buy volume. But of course, relative strength index isn't always right, because obviously, from what we saw yesterday, of course, the volume was way through the roof, all the way up to around a little over 80. Volume was way through the roof, and the relative strength index seemed to really have no impact on that. Another good thing we do, of course, is to check the Fibonacci Retracement, which I love to do. And what this is going to do is going to check the most recent run. It is going to measure how the gains and losses of this run have been measured. So this essentially starts at the very bottom here of that Elon Musk tweet, the very bottom here, 32.7. It was sort of a flash crash for SHIB, and then it's taking that and it is bringing it all the way up to the high on the day today, which is around 41. So we have a pretty big range here, 32 to 41. But what this is essentially noticing is that, it is recuperating. It has recuperated at least 61.8% of those losses. And I'll circle that for you guys again. You guys can see at multiple instances it is bouncing off of that 61.8% line. But look a little closer. You guys will notice, obviously, it is really hovering around the 38.2% line, meaning that from the high, we have only lost, 38.2% of these gains made from the low to the high. We've only lost around 38.2% because in all these instances, it is bouncing off. And the same thing, we can continue to watch it here in the future bounce off of this line. Now, again, if it falls through that line, obviously it does make things a little bit more difficult, if it falls through that line, of course, we could watch it, obviously hurdle through down to the 50, and then obviously, we could hang here at the 50% line for a little bit and, watch it kind of make, these arcs around the 50% line. So that is very possible as well, but it really all just does come down to, the way the price behaves. And, unfortunately, we can't control that. The best thing we can do is follow it as it goes. So that's definitely what I would say. Definitely do try to be paying attention, to these prices as they go and watch the way they interact with the relative strength index, which is the Fibonacci retracement. And there are a few other indicators. You guys could learn a lot, out there in regards to the way indicators work with buy volume and sell volume and things like that. There's a lot out there. If you're one of those guys who likes to study every type of wedge, a rising wedge, falling wedge, and all the, all the things in between, by all means, I definitely do think that's a good idea as well. And I'm always looking to learn more myself. But these two indicators are definitely some of the best that you guys can use. And of course, definitely trying to just imagine where you see personally support and resistance showing up is always a good idea. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to check out Webull. Top of the link down below in the description. My name is Matt. See you all in the next one. Peace.